way back to in the back of the book, the reproductive system chapter. So we do the ovaries when we get to the reproductive system, and where you'll learn about all this stuff on the slide. But for now, you just want to scan around and find something that looks like this. This is a follicle in the ovary. Okay, and you want to find, and there's follicles at different stages of development, but you want to find one that looks like this. It has a big cavity in the middle. It has a huge cell. That's the egg right there. And then it has cells around this big cavity. And these are the cells that we're interested in right now, because these are endocrine cells. So I'm going to try going up one more. Can I see if that looks okay? Okay, now you can't see the entire follicle, but you can see most of it. That looks like dirt on there. Okay, so here's what you're looking at. So like I said, this is the egg cell. They're huge, egg cells. We're not really concerned with that right now. We're doing the endocrine system. So what you want to look at are these cells out here. The whole round structure with the big cavity, the egg, and these cells on the outside is called a follicle. Just like in the thyroid gland, you had round follicles. So this whole thing is a follicle, a mature follicle. It's called Graafian or tertiary follicle, same thing. And these are the two types of cells you want to look at. Now, on your objective sheet that I gave, your review sheet for lab, I'm sure it was confusing because I put in a comma where I meant to put parentheses. So let me clarify this for you, because I'm sure you were confused. These cells out here are all called follicle cells. Follicle cells. They're all follicle cells, but there's two kinds. There's on the inside in pink, there's what they call granulosa cells. And then on the outside of the follicle, the outer cells are called thecal cells, or the theca. So they're both follicle cells, but they go by different names because they make different hormones, granulosa and theca. Okay? So you might want to make a note of that on your review sheet. And I'll write that on the board when I'm done here too. Okay, so what's the endocrine function? Let's start with the theca cells on the outside. These cells make testosterone. Okay, we're talking about the ovaries, and I know females don't release testosterone from their ovaries. However, it is made in the ovary, but it's just the first step towards making estrogen. So thecal cells make testosterone. Remember T for testosterone. Theca, testosterone. So they make testosterone. And then from cholesterol, it's a steroid hormone, like the adrenal cortex hormone. And then the granulosa cells take that testosterone and convert it to estrogen. If you look at the molecular structure of testosterone and estrogen, you'll see they're really pretty similar. So it's really just one enzymatic step to go from testosterone to estrogen. Just to add something, and you got it. So the granulosa cells convert testosterone to estrogen. And thus, the whole, if you're talking about the endocrine function of this mature follicle, you would say that the mature follicle makes estrogen. I mean, that's the end product. It does make testosterone, but not as something to be released. So that's just in the process of making the estrogen. So really, this follicle is just making one hormone, estrogen. You just make the testosterone first and then convert it. Okay? And then what this is doing, like this thing here called the antrum with the fluid in it and the egg, and what these cells are called. Okay, we don't need to worry about that right now. We'll study that when we get to the reproductive system. If you scan around on the ovary slide, and here you'll see lots of stuff on there. There may be, this is a cat ovary, not a human, so cats may have multiple mature follicles at one time in their ovary. So, here's another one with, I don't know if you can see on this power, but the thecal cells on the outside, granulosa on the inside. They usually stain slightly different. Okay, and you may see other things on here that you don't necessarily need to be looking at right now, like this thing here. So, but you just want to find a mature follicle. So is everybody okay with this slide?